We are looking at the law of organization. The law of organization. The law of organization. There are many business people and even young people who get to struggle to experience a certain level of success in their careers and business, especially because they don't know how to organize. They don't know how to put things in order where they should be and use those things or become resourceful through those things and achieve the results that they desire to achieve. There is just so much that you can achieve in business or as a leader, as an executive, if you don't master the art of organization. If you are one of those who read management in high school or you read management in the university, you understand that organization is one of the top skills in management or for managers to develop and practice. And it is the same in real life. There are many people who have gone to prison. There are many people who have ended up in the wrong places because they cannot organize their own lives. There are some of you that you're always late to meetings. You are late to important things. You can even be late to your own wedding or to your own important contract because you are so disorganized that you don't even respect your own time. You're always catching up on things. You're always catching up on life. You're always late. You're always in a hurry. And you get never to create proper time for anything that really makes sense for your career and your business because you lack the organizational skills to do that. Your things are never in order. Your things are never excellent. You never start things on time. You're always just here and there and not structure around your life, around your business. And that is because you don't know how to apply the law of organization. A business organization is a group of people brought together for the common purpose of creating and keeping customers. If you practice the law of organization in your business, in your institution, what you are telling me is that you have the experience, you have the skills, you have mastered the art and the science of bringing human resources together, of bringing other resources like financial resources, like equipments together for the common purpose of creating and keeping customers together. You know how to bring some things in your life together for the purpose of managing and leading a very structured lifestyle that gets to be productive and produce results as a person. That is the law of organization. And it goes further when it comes to business, and it states that a business organization begins to form when the task that must be done to create and satisfy customers become too great for a single person. Now, one sign that you are growing as a startup is that the activities of your startup, the activities of your business are becoming too great that you can no longer do alone. And that is why I always advise guys like coach who run startups that the first sign that you're making money in your startup business should not be for you to buy a new dress, should not be for you to renovate the office, should not be for you to do any other thing else except to bring additional hands into the business. One of the fastest ways for you to scale your startup is for you to start recording some success, and you realize that you can no longer manage the startups alone, and you recruit more people, even one person, two people, to join the startup and scale the operational capabilities of that business. So a startup, a small business, a startup begins to form itself. A startup begins to show proof that it can see the light when the task that must be done to create and satisfy customers become too great for the founder to manage, become too great for the founder to push it forward. That is a very strong sign about your startup. That is a sign that that startup will go places tomorrow. So if you run a startup and it has been a year, 2 years, and you have not seen the need of bringing in extra hands for the business to go forward, then there is something you are not yet doing the right way as the founder of that startup. And it is the same, even if you're a professional, you're a worker, you're an employee. If your department is not growing to a certain extent, your department is not gaining form in a way that you will need assistant accountants, you will need assistant operations officers, you will need assistant marketing, you will need assistants in your various departments to support you and to enable you get the job done. Then it means that that department is not growing and the overall institution is not growing. That is why founders must specialize and focus on the essential jobs that only they can do and delegate those jobs that can be done by others. New positions are then created and new activities are undertaken. That is organization. When you as a founder, you as a startup entrepreneur, you start focusing on the fact that you need to specialize and focus on essential tasks that only you can do. And you begin to delegate those jobs that can be done by others. New positions are then created and new activities are undertaken. One sign that you are growing as a startup entrepreneur, one sign that you're growing as a founder, one sign that you're growing as a leader in your organization is that you start specializing. You start focusing on essential jobs that only you can do, essential tasks that only you can do. And you now have people who are equipped enough, who are trained enough that you can delegate, the task that they can do, and you focus on primary activities that only you can do. This is very powerful, very critical in organization. When more organized structure is in place with the right people, the company expands its capacity to serve its customers. So one sign that your business is growing, one sign that where you work is a growing business and it has a future, one of the critical signs is an organized structure. It's an organized system of doing things. That place has organized processes of getting things done. Because when a more organized structure is in place, that's the first thing. When a more organized structure is in place with the right people, the business expands, the startup expands, The company expands its capacity to serve its customers. So if you're thinking of venturing into business, or if you're already in business, you need to check the kind of structure that you have. If your structure is still haphazard, up and down, there is no system that somebody can trace, you need to go back to the drawing board and start tracing that system, start building that structure that can lead to a well-organized system, because that is the only way. As I always say, if you look at companies like the MTN Cameroon, you look at uh, 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 the Facebook and the Microsoft and the Apple and all of that. One of the things that makes these great companies that we get to admire them is the organized structure in place. Is the organized system they have in place. They have an organized system when it comes to cleaning the floor of the business. They have an organized system for the security guard or the gate man. They have an organized system for the assistant. They have an organized system for the accountant. They have an organized system for everything in place. Even you as an individual, if you will go places as a productive person, you need to have an organized structure, have an organized system. There are some of you that you go to bed today, you watch a movie and you sleep at 12. Tomorrow you sleep at 1. The next day you sleep at 9. The next day you are not organized. You are even confusing your own machinery. You are not organized when you go home. You don't have the latest time that you discipline yourself when you go home. And sometimes you stay out late, not because you're doing things that make sense. You just sometimes you just talk carelessly with colleagues, you talk carelessly with friends, and you're talking, and you come back home at 10, the next morning you're home at 9, the next morning you're home at 11, the next morning next afternoon you're home at 3. You are just confusing the whole system. You don't have an organized structure when you go to work. You don't have a system that you know what, before 7:30 every day you are in the office. You have no structure. You have no structure when it comes to meetings. You have a meeting, you're 5 minutes early, or you're 5 minutes late, you're 30 minutes late, you're always, oh, I'm sorry for coming late, or I am this. You're always disorganized. There's no way that you can live a productive life that will produce incredible results if you are a disorganized person. Set structures. One of the best ways that you can do a lot within 24 hours is for you to have structures. That's one thing that saves me. I have structures around everything. Every morning, I know when I am supposed to be in the office. I know when I'm supposed to be home. For meetings, I know. And my day is always pre-planned. Life example. The only reason that I say we're going to do this class at 4 a.m. to 5 a.m. is because I know my morning routine. I have a structure of my morning routine. And I'm speaking and go mad at 9 a.m. And it is my policy, it is my structure to be 1 hour early to event I am speaking in. So I've got to leave the house by 7:30 so that I'm on ground, worst case scenario, 8 o'clock. And for me to do that, there are other morning activities I need to do. Okay, I have PPA. I have things I need to do. I have other morning rituals that I do, other morning habits that I need to do. So I already know that, okay, no, I will need days. My morning routine, okay, for days need to start from 4 a.m. to 7:30 to 7 a.m. or whatever, is well structured. So there's no way that I will end up doing things wrongly, being in a haste, trying to catch up late, and all of funny things that are not necessary. Guys, we need to start organizing our lives. Many people are so disorganized. And that's why you cannot do a lot in 24 hours. And that's why some of your results are not consistent. That's some of you that you enjoy good results just a few days and then you go back to your normal life. It's because there's no structure. Some of you are not consistent in result manifestation. You cannot produce results consistently for 6 months or 12 months, for 24 months, for 3 years or 5 years. You cannot, because there's no structure backing the manifestation of that result. You are everywhere anyhow. At the end, you stand up for nothing. So we need to make sure that we invest in having a more organized structure around our personal lives, in the workplace, in our careers, even in your family, even in yes, and now in your business. Be very organized. It's very, so my friends know, if you ask me to do something, I was going to do something, and they know, my close friends know, if I've not added in my calendar, know that that's the way of 3, I will not do it. That's one way too. You have a well structured. Well structured. Everything is well structured. You know what you're going to focus on. It makes you very productive. Very, very productive. The growth process of an individual, our growth process can only be consistent when we have structures that we have designed around us that can ascertain or that can engineer that growth process. Now, for example, I have a structure which states that I need to be in the house before 6 p.m. every day. And I'm only permitted to stay out of the house after 6 p.m. on 4 occasions. And that's what my structure says. If you see me outside of the house after 4 p.m., after 6 p.m., know the following things. Number one, I overstayed in the office to decide to work. And if I stay in the office up to 8 p.m., there's high probability that I'm sleeping over in the office. Next, if I'm out of the house after 6 p.m., then know that there's church. The third thing, if I'm out of the house after 6 p.m., know that I have a speaking engagement. And even if it's in this Douala, if I'm supposed to speak in an event in a hotel in this Douala, I will likely, the event organizer will likely pay a hotel room in that place, or will likely pay for a hotel room in that place if it's a night event. And I'll come back home in the morning. Even in the same town, I've paid hotel several times in this Douala, just because it's already night and I'm not comfortable. Night outing, night stuffs are totally out of my normal schedule. I only do it on very special occasions. So if I'm speaking in night somewhere, I'm probably going to sleep up in that hotel. The fourth thing is special emergencies. And this special, if you see me out of the house, it's an emergency. Know that family issue is in play, or know that a close person in my circle so needed me that I'm supposed to be out. And if I'm out late on that kind of occasion, be certain that there are other plans in place to ensure that unnecessary things do not happen. And why was I sharing that? I wanted to share that now. Imagine that there are people, I know people, maybe some of you have done that, because you don't have an evening structure that guides whatever you do. You close some work at 4 or 3 or whatever. Then a friend calls you, pass by the bar, the beer parlor, or pass by, let's say, at top. Now, you go and spend time in the beer parlor, you're drinking alcohol, you're talking things that don't make sense probably, and you now spend 2-3 hours, and you're forced to come back home late. Now you have wasted 3 hours of non-productive discussion. There's high probability, because it's rare, for productive discussion to take place in a noisy environment when people are drinking alcohol. Research says that the probability is very low for productive discussions and growth discussions to take place in an alcoholic drinking spot that is noisy with no control. It's a proven research. Now, you're going to spend 2-3 hours per se, and you will not do something that will add value to your life. You will instead do things that will take away from your life. It has taken away 2 hours, 3 hours, 1 hour of your time that you cannot buy back. Maybe you have probably overtaken alcohol beyond the normal alcohol intake your body is supposed to take for that day. And it's definitely, it may not, the negative reactions of that alcohol may not speak right now, but it may speak 10 years from now against you. The law of cause and effect must take place, whether you like it or not. Probably you may now go back home, maybe you are serious, you don't have a car, and you're in a big city like Douala, Yaoundé, and there are many of you who have been robbed on the streets because you are coming back home in the night, because you are in a place that doesn't make sense. Maybe you start getting, why I be going with that guy? Why I be stay? You start blaming the why, asking the why, because you took the wrong action, wrong decisions, and now guys have robbed you of your laptop, they have robbed you of your phone, they have robbed you of your stuff, they even almost stabbed you, they even gave you a wound and a cut and all of that. Now you see the ripple effect of some certain things that are not properly, you shouldn't have done them, but because there is the law of organization or an organized structure is not in play around you, you get to leave yourself very open for some things to happen to you. Meanwhile, they are not supposed to happen. I was telling my friend the other day, yes, I know that the grace of God protects. I know that God protects. But it is also my job to make sure that I don't frustrate the grace. You see, I have never been attacked in a big city where somebody collects my phone and collects stuff from me, because I think that one thing that saves me is the kind of structure I have around my evening program. Because when will you ever see me to attack me? You can attack me in the afternoon, okay, we'll see. Whatever that happens, praise God and move forward, right? But then attacks hardly happen in the afternoon, because evil doesn't thrive in daylight. It's in rare cases, it's a big attacks that they've been planning you for a while and all kind of stuff. But these small boys that just looking for what to eat and get phones to sell and eat and all of that, they must do those kind of things in the night, because evil thrives in the dark, right? So some of these things, you can prevent them, you can avoid them. Some of you, there are some people who are very busy not to do, they're too busy that they cannot do productive things, not only because they are busy, it is because they lose up time anyhow in several unproductive things throughout the day and throughout the evening, because there's no structure to prevent them from losing out that time. It is the same like social media. Do you have an organized structure around your social media? Let me tell you guys something. Sometimes people think that I have a lot of time on social media. Some of the times, most of the posts I make on Facebook, I schedule them. There's a software I've bought. You pay a yearly fee for that software. The software I have, even Canva does that. Canva software does that. And sometimes I just go and schedule and I put posts there, right? I put what I can post after 2 hours or so. The thing is, even posting, and I'm not even there. Now, imagine somebody's trying to compete with me, somebody, let me posting that the way Joybert is posting and all of that. You're on your own. There's a structure to do all of that for me, while I'm busy working on something important, right? So having a structure around some key important things is very important. Even around relationships, even around friendship. My friends know I have structures around friendships. That's what makes friendships to thrive. Have a structure even around your general career. Your career may not be experiencing consistent growth because there's no structure around it. You don't have a structure when you learn new things. You don't have a structure. You don't have a study time. You don't have time during the day where you just study things around your industry. There's no structure. You don't have a structure around you getting new certification or advancing the cost of your portfolio. There's no structure. You don't have a structure for attending industry events. You don't have the commitment. You don't have the discipline to do that. You have never removed money to pay for an event to attend on your own. Then there's no structure to support that. So create some time. Sometimes a human being, as human beings, we ourselves, sometimes we are too big to manage ourselves. Even me, I'm too big to manage myself on my own. And that's why these structures are there. They assist me to lead myself. The growth process is continuous when there is this right structure around the work that you do. And in business, this growth process continues as long as the increase in people continues to increase the number of customers who are satisfied by that organization. So if you run a business, one of the best ways that you can increase customers numbers is for you to increase employees, skilled employees, committed, driven employees that can bring more value, bring more energy to acquire more customers and serve more customers excellently. There is a lot of power in having the right number of people that can create value and can acquire customers for more people, for the business. It's going to help you a lot. Therefore, my charge for you today is create a structure around your life, especially the part of your life where you have little control over. Create a structure around it. Create a structure around it. It is going to help you to be very productive and sustainable. I'm talking about sustainable productivity. I'm not talking about you being productive for 4 days and then we'll now see you being productive like after 2 months. That is not productivity. You're being productivity. I'm talking about you being productive for 12 months, 365 days, all the weeks of the year. Consistently productive. It takes structures. It takes an organized structure for you to experience that kind of productivity. So, secondly, determine your primary output responsibility, defined in terms of how you contribute to the company's ability to serve customers. Now, what does that mean? The second charge is determine your primary output responsibility as an entrepreneur, as a working professional. What are you responsible for in terms of output? Okay, the output is that we should be able to serve 1,000 customers this month. Okay, what are you responsible for? Even you as the person, the output is that you should be able to read 2 books this month. Okay, what is your primary responsibility for that output? Your responsibility is to wake up 3 a.m., 4 a.m. every day and start reading the book. Your responsibility for that output is before you go to bed, if you go to bed at 10 p.m., you go offline at 9 p.m. and you study from 9 to 10 p.m. or you study from 9:30 to 10 p.m. before you go to bed. You see, that is a structure you're setting to ensure that you perform your primary responsibility and produce the primary output that you desire to produce. It is your job to determine your primary responsibility, your primary output, and your primary responsibility to produce that particular output. Next charge is, if you're a working professional or you're an entrepreneur, identify how your job is changing within your organization. Identify how your role is changing. Yes, when a business grows, your role will change. Right? Yes. When a business, like for example, when I started my business several years back, I used to do everything. But now there are employees that are doing some things. So it means that over time, my role, my job has changed. I now focus on other important things while the delegated tasks, employees focus on what they have to focus on based on their position and the job that they're supposed to do. And same for them. They are going to grow. As the employees grow in their capacity, as the business grows, their roles are going to change. They will be promoted to become senior managers, senior leaders. They're going to have assistants working for them and all of that. It is going to change. And as a professional, as an entrepreneur, it is your job to identify how your job is changing within your business, within your organization, so that you can also start acquiring new skills. You can also learn. You can also study and develop the skills based on the changes that are happening. Therefore, determine the changes you will have to make in your knowledge, in your skills, in your activities to remain valuable. If not, you will be replaced in your business. If not, even as an entrepreneur, your own business will outgrow you and die because the leader is not competent enough to advance the business. There are many entrepreneurs that their businesses have died, not because they were supposed to die, but because the industry where they are in the business have outgrown them. And now customers can no longer buy from you because your business is operating from an archaic perspective. You are no longer relevant. You are no longer critical. You are no longer up to date with industry standards. So customers leave you and go buy from the businesses that are still updated when it comes to the latest trends and industry standards. That is why it's important as an entrepreneur, as a working professional, identify your job, identify how your job is changing within your organization, within your startup, within the business where you work. Determine the changes you will have to make in your knowledge. Yes, you have to make changes in your knowledge. You have to make changes in your skills. You have to make changes in your activities so that you can remain valuable. There is no way you will remain valuable if you don't make changes. It's the same, like, for example, I have mentees. Some of them are very intelligent. Like even you guys in PPA, you are growing every single day. If I don't maintain a certain change, certain growth in my level of knowledge, skills, and you guys will never find a reason. The only reason you guys are here is because you believe that I have something to teach you that you don't know. If not, you will not be here. We all have self-interest, which is okay. We all have pride, which is okay. There's no need wasting time being in a place where you're not going to grow. There's no need. Even me, I wouldn't be there. The day that I stop proving that I have something to offer that can advance the course of your careers and businesses, you guys will stop being here. People will stop paying for services that we provide as consulting, training, and coaching, and so on. So you need, that's why it is critical for you to identify how your job is changing, identify how your industry is changing, identify how your organization is changing, so that you can determine the changes you will have to make in your knowledge, in your skills, in your activities, so you can remain valuable for the business, for the institution, and for the industry. Stop existing. You have no idea what is happening. You need to invest in that. Therefore, make a plan today to increase your ability to contribute to the critical results that determine your company's success. This is a charge for everybody. Make a plan from today, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a working professional. Some entrepreneurs are even very lazy. I have no iota of respect for an entrepreneur who goes late to work. I have no respect for entrepreneurs who's always headed to go back home. It's still 3 p.m., 4 p.m. You want to close and go. Where are you going to? And I was telling to my people that as an entrepreneur, you should close, if you have closed early, that day should be 6 p.m. And when you go back home, continue working till 11 p.m. If you can. Some of us, some people are still single, we can make all this noise because we don't have kids that were living with Abby. Yes. So the only thing you have to take off is your stomach and the dream. That's the difference. That's why I said if you can, create time if you can. It's very important for you to do. But what I'm saying is, the conclusion is, make a plan from today to increase your ability to contribute to critical results. Very three key things. Increase. You have to consistently increase your ability. That's why morning school is important. In the last 14 days, we have consistently increased our abilities. And that's why you can be able to contribute to your own business. You can be able to contribute in the organization where you work. I mean, we have heard testimonies how people are saying how the way that they now work in the business is different, and even their bosses are recognizing that something has changed. No, that change in their ability to contribute is as a result of the increase in their knowledge and ability to actually contribute. And this kind of manifestation does not happen from the place of guesswork assumptions and just doing things anyhow. No. It happens from the place of intentionality. It happens from the place of you making a plan from today to increase your ability to contribute to the critical result that determines your company's success. You are not relevant to any business. You are not relevant to any institution if you cannot contribute to the critical result. There are some people that you only contribute to clean the office. You only contribute to do some funny tasks. Those tasks are important, but they are not critical. So you cannot even be noticed. Avoid doing average tasks that produce, anybody can do. No, take it a step further. Start contributing towards critical things that others are running away from. Run towards it. That's how to stand out in your organization. Things that other staffs are running away from, run towards it. Those are things that will that when you contribute to, it leads to critical results. And number one, apart from your boss recognizing you that you're a valuable employee, apart from the board of directors, apart from your senior manager, your general manager, whoever noticing that you are very valuable, number two, you grow as a person. Your experience grows. You stretch your capabilities, you stretch your heart, you stretch your courage, you stretch your boldness, you stretch your professional competence, and that begins to make you a very valuable industry player generally. You are not just valuable in your organization, but if you go to another organization, you are very valuable because you have stretched yourself beyond the normal perspective. You are not an average employee. So from today, make a plan, people. Make a plan to increase your ability to contribute to the critical result that determines your business success, determines your company's success, and determines the success of the initiative that you're part of, NGO, community organization, local project, whatever that you're part of. Always make sure that you're very intentional at increasing your ability to contribute to the critical success and result that will determine the overall success of that company or business or initiative. Thank you so much, everybody, for today. That is it. We can take some comments, questions, and we'll round up.